tech stuff works today, but it says it's recording. So, okay. So, welcome. Today, I'm kind of going to try to talk about how communication and building relationships can be done within the class setting and then how that can transfer into other aspects of your lives. So just to kind of ice break, get the class going, just everyone say hi to one another and hopefully everybody can share something fun that they did over the weekend. So Michaela, you're right next to me. So if you want to start, you can share something fun you did over the weekend.
Oh, hi guys. I just watched Harry Potter all weekend. We're like doing like a Harry Potter marathon, so we still have like the last movie that's like split in two, but
Awesome. And then I guess you can just call on someone else if you want.
how was your weekend, Evan?
Um, Hello, Michaela. Hello, everyone else. Um, I'm trying to think of what I did this weekend. All I remember really doing is working. I honestly don't remember what I did on Friday, but yeah, that's basically what I did. Just work. How was your weekend, Pete?
Hi, Owen. Thanks for asking. My weekend was good. I had Saturday. We're finalizing our wedding in October, so we had the wine tasting and food tasting this weekend. It was super delicious, and my dad doesn't drink wine, so I got a little, I had a little fun. Let's just say that. Let's just be appropriate about it. I had a little fun, but it was really good. It was a good weekend, though. How was your weekend, Lucas?
Oh, it was good, Pete. Sounds like you had a pretty good weekend. Uh, I went snowmobiling on Sunday for like the first time in 2 years, so that was enjoyable before all the snow melted. So yeah, pretty good weekend.
Awesome. Okay, well, for my weekend, I just got back from Nashville. Actually, literally like at 3 a.m. last night. So my voice is still a little gone, but we are going. So bear with me. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. Hopefully this all works well. And of course it's not. Let's try again now. Okay, well. So kind of getting into things. Can you guys all see this?
Yes.
Yep.
Let's get into like a main view. Yeah, everybody can see that?
Yep.
Okay. So kind of getting into things, a quote to kind of lead off today's session is coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. So kind of the prompt for today is to focus on communication, teamwork, building relationships. So to get right into that, go over. Okay. So these were some of my favorite things growing up that I just am very nostalgic about. So I want you to take a look at these pictures. And while doing so, I'm going to share 5 of my favorite childhood things and memories with you. So growing up, I had dogs my whole life. Their names were Beamer. I had a dog named Hershey, Boomer, and now I have a dog named Bear. My favorite Disney movies growing up were Lilo and Stitch and A Bug's Life. I also loved Ratatouille. Let's see what else here. My guilty pleasure or my snacks that I loved were kids cuisine, which is in the center. If you can like see my cursor here. I don't know if you ever had these, but whenever my parents would go out and we had babysitters, this was like our go-to dinner. And soda. I was never allowed to have pop. So I would just like chug pop whenever I got it. And then my favorite things to do after school with my friends when I was younger were rollerblading and skateboarding outside. All of my guy friends would skateboard. I would rollerblade. And then one of my favorite memories was playing Lava Land with my brother and sister, where the floor is lava, you can't touch it. You're using like every household item to create, boundaries so you're not getting burnt to death by, the lava. So these were all things that I'm very nostalgic about. If you don't know what nostalgia is, it's basically like longing or thinking about something from your past. And that's something that many people can relate to and bond over. So I think it's a great way for people to get to know one another, relate to one another, and find out how much they really have in common. So when you are looking at any of these things, does anyone personally relate to anything specifically that's on here, or does this bring up any childhood memories?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For me personally, I can just talk about myself real quick. The Razor scooter immediately thought of my ankles.
I had to put that one on there.
Well, for me, the Razor scooter, my finger, because I broke my finger with one of those. But the tape gum, love that. The tape gum is my favorite thing. I still like. My mom got it for me in like my stocking. I went through it in like a day.
That's awesome. How about you, Michaela? Anything on here or anything that sparks your interest?
See, I remember the Lincoln Logs, not as like like I used to love them and my sister had some, but I was always take hers and I got mine taken away once as a kid because I threw them at her.
Oh my gosh.
Like we used to fight over them all the time. She always got like the expansion packs and I always got the Barbies and I was like, but Lincoln Logs are cooler.
The Lincoln Logs were my brothers too. And I just remember like I had to put the Legos and the Lincoln Logs on there because I always used to step on them. And that was like almost as bad as hitting your ankle with the Razor scooter. It was always like the worst feeling. How about you, Lucas? Anything sparking your
I can
interest?
definitely, I relate to quite a bit of those items, but specifically the Pokemon cards. I still have them to this day and probably won't get rid of them, just pass them down to my kids. But yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so just quickly, even looking at this right here, we all were able to relate to something, from our childhood, from our experiences. And so this goes to show, how much these experiences can bond people over time. So getting into communication and building relationships again, what are some settings that you all think that, you're going to need to use these skills, communicating, building relationships, people skills outside of the school setting?
Well, I think that, go ahead, Evan.
No, I was just gonna ask you to repeat it, so you go ahead and answer.
I was just going to say that you need good communication in every aspect of your life if you're going to succeed. So, yeah.
Yeah, just trying to get you to think of like other places outside of just not looking at you right now as being an educator in the future, but more so, examples such as, in a workplace or, just common courtesy, day-to-day activities, stuff like that. So the activity for today that we're going to kind of get into is called Nostalgia Q&A. So it's kind of a continuance of what we just all experienced together within those pictures, but it's going to prompt you different questions that we can all kind of talk about open-endedly. So there's not really any rules here, but just be respectful when people are talking. If there's something where you don't feel like you personally want to share, you can say pass. That's totally fine. But like, let's just enjoy. And I'm really excited to hear all your responses. So kind of starting with the first question. What is your best pump up jam or theme song? So you can either, I know everyone has their phones, you can either just play it on your phone or say the name of it, whatever you're thinking. And you can just go at it when you're ready.
I have too many.
Honestly, I'm looking it up right now because I like to switch mine up a lot. And I can't remember exactly. Come back to me. I'll be 1 second.
I feel like songs are always hard because there's just so many of them and like your taste always changes.
I think the common ones for me, ones that like, even though I may not listen to them like all the time, if they come up, I still know every word. It would probably have to be "Wanna Be" by the Spice Girls, "Love You Like a Love Song" by Selena Gomez, and recently it's been "Driver's License." So those are them right now.
Driver's License is a good one. I like that song right
Yeah,
now.
those are my tops right now.
Mine's a little like out there. It's not like rap or anything, but has anyone heard of the song "My Mother Told Me"?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, it's like an Irish, like not Irish, almost Viking. It's from I'm sure you've heard it. So if you're on TikTok or something, you probably run across it. But I don't know, just like more like it starts out slow and then starts to like ramp up and build up. Like I guess I would be more or less. my
Okay.
idea.
Anybody else think of one? or we can move on to another one. I know songs are hard.
I have a couple. One of them's probably a little bit inappropriate. It's Many Men by 50 Cent, and it was my go-to song in high school when I wrestled, and Till I Collapse by Eminem. And then anything Shakira really gets me in a good mood.
I love that.
All I keep thinking of is like the old like Disney Channel like movies, like High School Musical, Hannah Montana, just like, oh, but it's like weird.
Those are my favorite. So actually over the weekend I heard remember Hillary Duff's album, the Clean song, and like I don't know if all the guys know this, but Evan's like, what is that? Listen to
Hillary Duff had an album?
Come Clean by Hillary Duff. It is like a song that you can just belt. But okay, I'm gonna move on to another one. So who is someone you looked up to as a child and who is someone you look up to now?
I'd probably say, because I'm looking at his photo right now, my father. As a kid, I mean, just I don't want to assume everyone else's relationship with their dad, but as for me, growing up with a dad and everything, I don't know, he was just like the Rock. Like I just thought he was invincible, thought he was like the king of the castle, and he always was strong. And now I still look up to him in different ways, obviously, because I take things a little too seriously sometimes, and he's always there to just remind me, you're only young once, like just relax, you're doing a great job.
I love that.
I'm probably going to have to agree with Pete. I would probably say my dad. And I think it's because of his work ethic. Like I've never seen somebody work as hard as what he has. And I hope that I'm like that in my future life.
I'm gonna go a different route here. So when I was a child, I feel like I definitely looked up to John Cena. 'Cause I was a big like WWE fan. So I feel like my little 8-year-old self really looked up to John Cena. And now, I don't know, I had a harder time thinking of who I look up to now because sometimes it's not so obvious. But I guess I'd have to say my stepsister just because she's got her life together and she's kind of like, newly out of college and she got her job and she's got a house now. So, I'm coming up to that stage in my life. So
Michaela, did you have one?
I can think of like the one when I was a kid, which was like Walt Disney, because I was like obsessed with him. But now as an adult, like all I can think of is like my parents.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. As you just get older, your tastes change and you evolve, and it's cool to see how things change. Like your tastes change, who you're close to changes. But okay. So I have multiple questions. So we can do like a couple more and then move on. So let's see. Let's do this one. So what's your favorite game, movie, or toy growing up? You can do any of them because I know that there's so many different memories.
okay, I can take this one pretty easily because I know for a fact favorite movie growing up, because me and my cousins would always watch it when we had like sleepovers. It'd be like Lion King or like Lion King 1.5. Those are like the go-to movies.
I agree with Evan. Those are the best. I love Lion King so much. He was my first tattoo. Do y'all remember the like skip-its that like hide around your ankles?
Mm.
I love those toys.
That was kind of similar to the Razor scooter when you get hit in the ankle and it just
Oh,
hurts so
Didn't they have like counters on them too?
yeah.
yeah. See how many
Yeah.
you get.
Or like moon shoes.
Mm.
So awesome.
One movie. It was the one movie with the little toy soldiers. It was like the Gorgonites, and I can't remember the name of it, but that would be the movie that I would choose.
Is it the Indian, the
Yeah, they're like make believe people, and then there's like the commandos, and they all came to life, and they're harassing like all the people. Yeah,
I
What is
remember,
that
I
called?
remember that.
I feel like I vaguely know what he's talking about, but I
I looked
no
it up, but I'll pay attention.
I do too.
All right, Lucas, how about you?
Uh, Definitely Toy Story for a movie. I was obsessed with those.
Awesome. Okay, here's another one. Let's do this one. Because I shared all of my guilty pleasures. I want to know yours.
Small Soldiers was the movie, by the way.
That's not what I was thinking of.
Sorry.
Okay.
I mean, for me, nothing's really changed. My favorite childhood candy, treat, and junk food's all the same thing. It's all, favorite candies probably like Sour Patch Kids, Goldfish, pizza. Literally nothing's changed.
I'd probably say Twizzlers.
Yeah, I would just say mac and cheese.
That one sits right here for me. Mac and cheese is my favorite food to this day. It's so good.
Same.
So it's probably bad for a PE teacher, but
I know.
I love Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
None of us said something healthy, but obviously Dr. Esser's watching this, so everything in moderation. But okay, awesome. Let's do one more and then we'll kind of wrap it up. Let's do this one. What do you guys miss most about being a kid?
Not having bills to pay. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's 100% true.
and more of just a general, just so much less responsibility.
Mm.
Like I need to, make sure I, feed myself and get my own groceries and go to class on my own and do all this grown up stuff. And when I was a kid, I just take the bus to school and then food would be ready because my mom would make it, but now I have to do it.
I'm gonna say pretty much of the same. I just remember being a kid and not having a single worry in the world. And now it's like I feel like I worry about every aspect of my life way too much. So
now, kind of based on these answers, because I feel like we all agreed on that, so what is something you could tell a kid now that you wish you knew back then?
Enjoy it.
Slow down and enjoy the little things,
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
which I'm sure we all hated hearing growing up too.
Oh, I'm sure.
everybody always says as you get older, it goes quicker. And I truly believe that because like it goes a lot faster now.
Yeah, trust me, college has gone so much quicker than high school.
Yeah.
Completely agree. So now I'm going to stop sharing really quick. So kind of now in the chat, just to kind of, reflect on all of that. So what is like one word to describe the feeling that you had when we were going through those questions personally for yourself and just reflecting on memories that you had as a kid? You can throw it in the chat or you can just say it out loud, whatever's easier.
I think maybe happiness because it's nice to reminisce sometimes.
Yeah, I would say like good memories because you remember like the good things. You don't. I mean, you do remember the bad things, but every question you asked, it just made us all think of like the positive and all the things that we missed and we forgot about.
I would say laughter, not only like thinking about the memories and remember like having fun and laughing in them, but also just looking back at what you imagine you're like what you can remember about the way you looked when you were 7 8 years old.
Yeah.
Laughing at.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how about, one word when your peers gave their input, or when they said something that they liked? Was there any other different words that came to mind when you were hearing their thoughts?
I would say maybe intrigued to hear other their experiences.
I would say it's not really like an emotion or anything. I mean, you kind of just like, yeah, I like agree with that.
Okay. So yeah, so basically, the whole premise of this was, looking back at, when you have commonalities and you take time to just get to know someone, you can truly see how, communication and relationships can form so easily. So I mean, I want to just kind of know your thoughts on, when you're getting into different settings in your life, when you're moving on to teach, when you're moving on to work, when you're moving on to just meeting new people, why do you think that's so important to build these relationships and communicate? And
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
just kind of like where your head's at. Why do you think that it's important to take the time to reminisce and to build relationships and to communicate with people?
It builds that community that we've kind of talked about before. You just kind of get to know your peers better and kind of brings you closer to them, and it makes it easier to like work with them and talk to them, be able to voice your opinions to them, and also to understand them a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of just to check in real quick. So just do like a thumbs up, to the side, down. Did you learn something, about yourself that you maybe didn't remember or forgot about? Yeah. How about up here? Did you learn something about them, something you weren't expecting? Yeah. Okay. So kind of just wrapping it up. Again, I know we kind of already talked about this, but so what settings do we need to be communicating and building relationships in? Where else can we take what we discussed today, and where else can we do that?
I mean, anywhere in any aspect in our lives.
Everybody kind of agrees, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for participating. I appreciate it. And I actually was like very excited to hear everybody's responses for these questions. So I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm gonna like end. Now, how do I like save this recording? Because
So you want to stop,
Mhm.
and then there should be like a screen that pops up, like a small little thing, and it talks about like how it's converting,
Okay.
and that basically means that it's downloading it. So then
And then just save that and upload it
So,
to
so
YouTube.
then, so the way it works with mine is, it'll like be converting into like that video or that file. And then once it's done, for me, it just pops up and it's like, where do you want to save it?
Okay.
So it
Okay,
should,
cool.
where you
Well,
wanna
I'm
save
gonna end this, and then we can go to Pete's, and I'll be over there in just a sec once I save this.
All right. See everyone in a
All
bit.
right. Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole. You did great.
Thank you.
Hey, Dad.
I'm Nicole.
Thanks.